You are probably in this situation right now where mom or dad have to go home, but they can't go home because there is something that you haven't put in place yet. So they are going to stay in hospital longer than they need to. We already know that our hospitals, our healthcare institutions are already overwhelmed and understaffed. But how do we make sure that we don't play a part in that, where we contribute to making our healthcare institutions way better so that they can cope better? It may not even feel like a lot, but imagine if 10,000 of us are following this plan that I'm going to lay out, that we are doing the best we can as a community of people coming together, deciding, sharing this information, talking to others about it. Like, you know what, I heard this person on YouTube online, and what they said I think is worth considering and looking into. If mom or dad or both your parents are about to go into hospital, there is a plan you need to have in place. Don't leave it at the last minute. Don't even think, oh, we'll work it out. This, what I'm going to say here, is so necessary. It is so important to have in place. Because listen, this is Coach Meg. I'm based in London at the moment. I've worked and lived in 3 different countries. And I have started to understand that it is us, the people, it's us, the community, who can make things better for ourselves. We have to become more proactive about what we're doing. Okay, perhaps you're like, okay, whatever, you're waffling. I don't know what she's talking about. I got you. Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. This is what I want to say. Before mom and dad get into hospital, you need to have a care package in place so that as soon as the plan is finished, their medication is finished, whatever they were having done in hospital, that's all done. You want to have a plan in place before they even go home. Yes? Because after major surgery, I also worked as a registered nurse, by the way, and I loved the critical care department. I loved surgery. It was a fun place to work. I learned so much doing that. But what I do now is coach families, to support family. It's my way to contribute to primary health care. It's my way to give back by providing this service. So what I want to say is this. Before mom and dad go into hospital, whether it's for medication that they need to be on intravenous therapy, the words won't come out. They're going to have intravenous therapy. You want to make sure you have this in place. And that will be like, oh, we're going to figure that out when we cross that bridge. No. This is why we have problems sometimes, because we leave things at the last minute. And I don't blame you. You've got life is busy. You've got teenage kids. I know what that feels like. You've got work going on. You've got so many deadlines. You've got a business. And that is like the last thing on your mind. All you want to do is spend some quality time with mom and dad in hospital and then go home and then think about that when the time comes. But I kid you not. This is important to have it in place before they even go into surgery or when they're admitted in hospital. The day they're admitted in hospital, here's one of the things you can start asking. I know mom and dad have just got into hospital, but how long do you think this is going to take? How long will we notice a difference that they're getting better? The answers will be revealing. Yes? The person you're speaking to, if you're not happy, you can speak to the doctor, you can speak to the consultant, you can speak to the specialist, you can speak to the matron, you can speak to the sister in charge. You are free to find out this information. Ask them and just observe. Look for people who are forthcoming. Look for people who they don't look stressed out, because everybody's not like in the right space sometimes because they've got so much going on in the department. The ward is busy. I work there, so I have so much sympathy. What you want to do is ask somebody, when you have time, could you please explain this to me? How long do you think it will take for mom to go back home? I'm not trying to, I just want to have an idea so I can plan for mom's discharge or when dad comes home. You see, this is your way of being armed with knowledge, because it will give you a bit of time to know, okay, it means we need to find a carer, a professional, highly motivated, self-employed caregiver. I highly recommend, because it's something I'll talk about on another video. You need a certain kind of person, because it is something that I did in the community as well, because I wanted to understand the service I'm launching. How do I actually work with people so I know what it actually means, not like just from head knowledge. No, I did this like for 8 years, and then it's close to 30 years, all my healthcare combined. But anyhow, when the sister in charge has explained to you how long it will take, you can now start planning. Okay, do we find an agency or do we find a highly motivated, self employed caregiver? There's a huge difference. There are some, they're in training, they are students, or they're in transition. People are different. Everybody has different things that and this is something that they do part time. And there's nothing wrong with that. We can't judge people for what they do. But you want a certain personality, whatever their background is, whatever they're doing. Because some people may have degrees over here and they are looking to relocate to the UK and they want to do this part time, or it could be somebody who is in between business, somebody who has retired or has left nursing. It could be somebody who just wants to break and wants to just figure out. So there's different types of personalities. But this is one of the things you want to know. Can they pass the mom test? It doesn't even matter what cultural background they come from. You want to see, is this somebody who will pay attention to our mom? Is this somebody who will not be busy on the phone the minute they get a chance? Is this somebody who our mom will feel like this is a kind person, this is a caring person, this is a person with a lot of compassion, this is somebody who's understanding, this is somebody mature, this is somebody who can think on their feet, this is somebody who can respond to an emergency quickly. So there's a certain personality that you want. There's a certain level of competence you want. It can't just be anybody. Yes? And there's also an expectation for you as a family. When you ask this kind of person to come and support you, it's about striking a balance. Because one, you also want to give them room to just get on with it. I remember even in my healthcare days, as much as we have to calm and reassure family, we also have to get ready to make sure this person doesn't get any worse. Because you see, there are some conditions that a person comes in with in hospital. Depending on how long they've been in this condition, they could be getting worse, and it could be I don't want to use the words, but it could be like you need somebody who can act fast and then reassure family later. That is why sometimes as healthcare professional we may come across as, oh, you don't have bedside manners. It's because, we're setting our priorities. What do we need to deal with first? And then if there is time, yes, we will attend to family and reassure family. It may not be straight away, but it will come later. And this is just me giving my general opinion. Every department, every institution works differently. There are policies and all this. But I'm talking about working in the community when you want to prepare mom to go home. So number one, you want to find the right person. So you need to give yourself time to find this person. So you can work with an agency if you want. There are many great agencies. I'm not speaking for everyone, but there are some really great agencies that it comes from the leadership and it filters down to everybody, the living care manager, the supervisors, the educators, the trainers, the coaches, everything. Yes, I don't think many have coaches, but anyway, that's something I do in my service. So there's this part, preparing ahead of time. You also want to prepare your home. If there's somebody who's going to live with mom or dad for the next 3 weeks, because according to the type of surgery they've had, recovery will take a while. Hip replacement surgery, that will take a while. I know there's a lot of changes and people recover faster, but it depends on each individual. Some people recover really quickly according to their health condition before they had the surgery. I hope this is making sense, yes? And some people may have some underlying issues that are only discovered while they're getting ready for surgery. That's why in the healthcare field, you do like a pre-assessment. Bloods are taken. You want to see, how quickly can they recover? Are they optimized? Is their condition good enough for them to have surgery now? That is why sometimes surgery is cancelled, that they can't have surgery now. Because on the blood test and all the experiments that we've done, all the tests, the x-rays, whatever is required, shows that this person is not ready for surgery. That's why surgery can be postponed. Anyway, not to divert from our topic, just to give you some background, yes, from an expert's point of view, somebody who's lived and worked in the industry and understands. And I'm not saying I understand it all. Being an expert doesn't mean there are other ideas that cannot be added to what I'm sharing here. I hope this makes sense to you. So it's almost like you're having a consultation online. You're listening to this, but I come with you and work with you as a coach. Yeah, so this would be really good that you don't leave things at the last minute, because that's when people start making mistakes on both sides. You call an agency, oh, we need somebody, mom just got out of hospital, is about to come out of hospital tomorrow, because this is something I actually experienced. And I'm going to give you this story in a minute. When you plan this, it can just be like effortless. You've got somebody in place. There's no stress, there's no drama. You know you've got somebody competent who's going to come. And it's not an easy thing to do. Planning can be a nightmare. Let me even give you a story. Let me just tell you a story about one of my clients that I had. This is just a business term, but I worked with this gentleman, an accountant, Englishman, really interesting character. We had so many discussions, and what I found is every family has different issues why they don't like hospitals and all this. And what I found with this gentleman, and I'm not breaking confidentiality here, I'm giving you a story to help you to understand that, I understand how this works. And every person is different. Everybody comes with their own story and issues and different fears. Everybody has their own fears, yes? So, anyhow, let me tell you this story. As this gentleman was about to go into hospital, or rather, before he got into hospital, what I noticed working with him, this is the amazing thing about having a living care companion, because this person comes really close to your mom or dad, if they are the personality that I'm talking about, which is what I do as a coach. You'll find me on social media. I prepare people to do this kind of work, because my service is I will not be directly involved in the care. So I just prepare people ahead of time to be able to handle with all types of situations. So anyhow, what I noticed with this gentleman is he didn't really like hospitals, and as I got to know him and I built rapport with him, very important. As I built rapport with him, I noticed that he was willing to confide in me. And he started to tell me about what had happened with another family member. Just for uh, privacy, I won't say a lot on here because this is on the World Wide Web. But anyhow, he had some concerns. So when he actually had to go into hospital because he wasn't coping that well at home, these are all the different things that happen. Sometimes you actually have a professional caregiver, but there's some situations in which what's happening with him or her, they have to end up in hospital, and there's nothing you can do there because the hospitals, they have the facility that a professional who's working with you at home may not have. So anyhow, as I got into hospital, and I was actually taking my break at this time. I had gone off like for 2 weeks or something, which is a really helpful thing when you're dealing, with chronic long-term illness. You need to be fully present. That is why not everybody does this. It is not for everybody. You need the competence, you need the maturity, you need the skill set, you need the confidence to do it. When I got back to looking after him and I was switching with the other caregiver, I had to reassure the department that look, I'm a trained professional. I've looked after people on life support. I can handle this. But still, listen to this. Even if I could, there were some tasks and activities that we would have to be doing that I couldn't do as an individual on my own. So we still had to make sure we found an agency that was ready and willing and available at a moment's notice to send us somebody to support the care that we were doing for this client at home. So you see, according to the situation that your mom or dad is in, according to the illness they're dealing with or that they are now dealing with having gone into hospital, there's a lot more that comes into play. It's not just about having a competent person. It could be because they physically can't do the work by themselves. It's called risk assessment. So if you are listening to this and you're like, oh wow, I need to start planning this, listen, get in touch with me. We're going to walk through the different scenarios, and I will also be like an advocate for you. The questions you need to be asking as your mom or dad is in hospital. Because you need to be asking the right questions so you get the right answer. So you're not wasting time with stuff that's got nothing to do with anything. But you're asking the questions that will help you make a decision. Like, okay, do we need to get a caregiver straight away in place? And where do we find that person? And what do we need to prepare for when mom comes back home so that this other person that is coming will be able to give the best care for our mom. There's a lot that goes into play. There's a lot that has to be factored in because I found from experience not many families are ready for having somebody come in and live with your mom or dad. So, on the other side, on the professional side, let me say, when you want to get a professional caregiver, you want to make sure that they feel supported, that you're on their side, and that they don't feel like a stranger. Because remember, this person is also coming with their own cultural background, whatever it is. But here's the beauty of this: it is like your mom and dad getting to learn something that they probably never learned about other cultures. And it's also realizing at the end of the day, this person has passed the mom test for you, you're good to go. It could be the best thing that has happened that, you come and visit your mom or dad when you do come, and your mom or dad, they're happy, they're just like they're enjoying the company. It's those scenarios actually happen because you found the right person. And sometimes it can take a while to find the right match, but that's something we can talk about in the coaching. That is why one of the things I did, having had the experience now, is we have to have a plan in place that if it doesn't work out with somebody, it's part of life, right? Sometimes we meet people and it doesn't work out. How do we navigate that this is not working out? Yes, with all the best intentions, sometimes it's just not the right person. But this is one of the things about coaching, is to minimize that risk, that you're not having too much turnover, because it happens. Yes, sometimes people are sent from an institution, an organization, and it's like 3 4 different people coming into the house. And I found, to be honest, that's not fair on your parents when they're having so many people coming and going. I know it is what it is, but what if there's a better way to do that? What if there's a different way to do that? Because no matter who we are, when you're already feeling vulnerable, it's like, wow, who was that? Oh, okay. And some people actually don't mind. They like having different personalities coming and going. So what I mean is, it's about working out what's the right person for you. So number one, we've actually only tackled one question. I've got so many things that you may be concerned about right now, like, will this person be eating my mom or dad's food? Or you could be the person that needs the care and you're like, will they be eating my food? Or will they take over my house? Will they have their own space? Will they be around me all the time? And what about payments? Who covers the payments? And what if I have a concern, that I can speak to somebody in confidence? What do I do without feeling the backlash? Because sometimes what I found is people are afraid to speak up. Listen, you always have options. Yes, you always have options. And part of the coaching is to help you understand what your support system is around you when you get this plan in place. What is the support system around you? The district nurses, the GP, the coach, the service provider. Who is your support system now? Your friends who've had similar experiences. Yes? So we can talk about that in the coaching. Listen, if this resonates with you and you're like, I need to speak to somebody who's got experience, who's competent and who understands how the system works and the different issues that can come up, and how to make sure that we're providing the best support for our parents, but even for you as the adult children, to make sure you're having peace of mind. You're not wondering, because maybe you want to go on holiday. You want to take your teenage children away on holiday, or you want to go away with your partner. You can still have a life, an amazing life, while your parents are being supported. Yes? So get in touch with me. We're going to go through the different issues. It could be just an hour consultation. It could be something that we do over 6 weeks to make sure that you're happy with the transition that's happening right now and any issues that come up. There will be some time set aside just to do that, because it can't be 24/7. The idea, the way I work, is to manage expectations at the beginning and throughout, so that all of us can get some sleep. All of us are not stressed out, and because I could be busy trying to help somebody else. So I like to work on the idea that we preempt any issues that come up. Risk management, your home is ready. Any support that you need, any cares and concerns, we also speak to your mom or dad. Things that they should expect as they're going through transition, how to make sure they're making, they're making their own home a place that they enjoy to be as it is. So that sometimes they hardly even notice there's somebody else there, because this is a person who can be, mature enough to take some time out. They go for a walk, they take their break. Yes. So it's about managing expectations really well at the beginning. So listen, get in touch with me. I will speak with you soon, or you can look out for my other video. I've got a few videos here. I also do marketing, and you'll see different types of videos on my channel. So get in touch with me, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.